up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. It is still winter, it is still cold, but today I'm getting ready to leave. You know, I have a fleet of boats for every situation. I've got my big pontoon, which is right here behind me. It's all cleaned up, ready to go for the season. I got a little two-man dinghy. I've got the kayaks, the big main ones. I got a couple extra kayaks. I just realized that I don't really have a John boat. I'm headed out today. I'm gonna drive 3.5, 4 hours. There's a guy that has a John boat. Him and his kid went through and redid it all, made it really nice. And so I'm gonna go pick it up. I've been pricing John boats with a small motor. I wanted somewhere between a 10 and a 20 horse. Something I could take out, get dirty, easy to pull. If I go to some of these small lakes around here, I'm not lugging this huge pontoon boat with me, but I need more power than what I'm gonna get on my kayak. I wanna be able to get across the lake faster, get into some chop, things like that. And I started looking at stuff. I mean, we're talking 15 grand and up. So I went to Facebook Marketplace, found several, talked to different people. Anyway, I picked one. I'm gonna go get it. Today I'm leaving. I'm gonna go grab that sucker. We're gonna get back here, give it a once over, and get it on the water. I might see you there, but maybe we'll be back here and we'll just do a little walkthrough on what we picked up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a new boat, and it's even better than I expected. It's like 22 degrees out there and windy. And that is literally the most geese I've ever seen in my life in one place. That is crazy. So if you're familiar with Kansas, I'm sitting here at Cheyenne Bottoms. I got the boat picked up. I've been stopping every so often to take a look at the trailer, make sure everything is good. Man, I'm so glad that I picked this thing up. This kid and his dad, they went through and totally refurbished this boat, and it's awesome. New carpet, new paint. It's so much better than the pictures that they posted. When I saw it in real, in person, it was so much better than the pictures they took. So I'm really pleased with it. It's got a new seat, new battery case, new gas tank, new bilge pump. They went through the motor on it. So super excited. That was just a quick look at it. When I get it home, we're going to really dive in and take a look at what we got. So far, so good. Everything's nice and tight. The axle hasn't fallen off the trailer yet, so that's good news. So we're going to keep on trucking, get her home, and we'll give it a good once over. Okie dokie. We got her into the garage, made it home. Everything was fine. At one point, this little gear right here kind of popped loose, and I noticed there was a lot of slack on this, and the boat was just kind of moving around, but I pushed that back up in there and kind of cranked on it and tightened it right up, and that worked out great. These guys did a pretty decent job on this boat, I would say. Shout out to Brody and his dad. Thanks a lot for the awesome boat. You guys cleaned it up, did a good job. This is obviously new paint on here. They put all this carpeting in. It's got a little dry box here. So that's gonna be handy. I may, in the future, add some other things. I just need to see what's underneath here, and I'm gonna kind of get to that here in a second. But yeah, the switches they put in there, which is kind of cool. It's got my light there, and there's all kinds of lighting, like deck lighting and the nav lights up front. Pretty cool. Little pump, little bilge pump. I think I'm gonna probably get the hose hooked up and try to fire up this motor, because the plan is, I got a couple things I want to do today. I might add a fish finder on here. The plan is possibly take this thing out tomorrow. It's gonna be 60 degrees, get it on the water and see how she does. I just got to figure out, I want to make sure the motor is going to work. They said it would. I have no reason to doubt them, but I drug it down the interstate, so it's bouncing around pretty good. The only other thing, which these guys are super good to me, so I can't beat them up too bad. But there is some wiring that I'm gonna have to figure out. Like, there's just constant power on this battery. I mean, you can see the switches. They've been lit up since yesterday. So, I mean, obviously I can just unhook the battery, but you know, it just needs a kind of, it needs a little help. But I want to put it on a switch so I can just kill power to everything when I'm storing it. And then I just noticed up here, I was going through this, like just trying to figure out where everything was at. But this kind of situation scares me a little bit. So some of the wires are barely hanging on there. The biggest thing is I just want to get it on the water, see how that motor is going to work for me. Check this thing out. It still works. It's noisy. I don't know how it'll work in the water, but more than likely this is going to go away and I'm going to get a new trolling motor to go up on the front. But anyway, new seat, pretty sweet. I got that in there. Looks comfy. Check it out. Oh, what's happening? Oh, okay, there we go. It's like, it only spins, you got to face backwards when you drive the boat, apparently. Anyway, I'm going to get the fish finder in here, I think, for sure, because I want to know what depths are. And might work on the battery a little bit. We'll see what happens. But I got some cleats, too. These are super cheap from Walmart. I'll probably put one up here on the front and maybe one on each corner in the back, so when I pull up to like a dock, I can at least tie off, because the majority of the time I have this out, I'll probably be by myself. So I just need to be able to tie it off to something, and I want it to be easy. So I'm gonna get to work, get this thing going. Yeah. Well, that is pretty freaking sweet. Only what I pulled that thing like 3 times, it fired right up, so I feel good about that. This thing is so easy to move around. I can just pick it up, move it. I think it's gonna sit perfect right next to my boathouse. I've got like on the side of the building over there, a little area where I park my mower and stuff. It looks like I got about 2 inches of clearance to get through the gate. So I'm gonna store it there. But yeah, I'm gonna go get some gas, fill up the tank so I got plenty for tomorrow. And then hopefully tomorrow, Maiden voyage. So I'll see you on the water. Ho, ho, ho. Looky there, kids. It is absolutely beautiful out here. There's like a little bit of a breeze, but it's, I think we're in the 60s right now. I'm actually quite warm. So finally made it. It's a couple days later. I was gonna come out yesterday and the wind was blowing like 30 miles an hour. And I didn't want to try to take, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen with this boat once I get it in the water, and I didn't want to have to take any unreasonable risks if I didn't have to. So we're here today. I'm gonna get it in, kind of go through, see how it works. I've only got a couple hours, maybe catch some fish. We're gonna give it a shot. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's do this thing. Okay. Hard part is it's really difficult to see, but think before I unhook that, I'm gonna make sure that motor starts. Woo! Oh wow, that moves around a lot. Well, I'm off the trailer. Let's see. Uh-oh. That's not good. I think it's struggling to get fuel. Oh. Okay. Let me get my truck out of the way. Well, that probably wasn't the smoothest start in the world, but literally could go so much worse. So I'm so used to being on that pontoon. It's like standing in a kitchen. It's so stable. This thing is wobbly. So that'll take some getting used to. Just got to be sure-footed before I stand up. I'm not going to venture too far because I'm a little curious of what's going to happen with this motor. But I left it running. And she's still good. Anyway, I'm gonna get in it. I'm gonna go down here a little ways, just kind of stay close and see how it goes. Okay. Reverse is working. Let's go forward here a little. Not liking that. Yeah, that makes me not want to venture off. So I'm gonna have to figure that portion out. Yeah, that's when I'm putting it in forward. It doesn't want to, it's not getting the fuel. Well, I got this vented. At least I thought I did. What the heck? Maybe it's not vented. Okay, well, I figured it out, I think. This gas can has a vent on it, And apparently it's not working because it was just, and it wasn't getting any gas. So when I had it, you know, when I'm in reverse, not a lot happening, but as soon as I got on it to go forward, it was just not getting the gas. So let's see. See what happens here. Yeah, it's working. Let's get it rod out, throw a few casts. Golly. This sucker is wobbly. Let's throw a few casts, see what's going on. Oh man. Well, this will definitely take some getting used to, but oh, look at this, guys. We're fishing, man. We are on the John boat for its maiden voyage, fishing, and I'm considering cruising across the lake to go to my go-to spot. I mean, at some point I'm going to have to trust this motor, and the only way that I'm going to be able to trust it is if I test it and see what it can do, which means I'm going to have to do it at some point. The question is, do I want to do it now? Today, the whole goal was just to make sure that this thing floats and everything works. And so far, other than my unsure footing, it would appear it's working. So I think I'm going to take it across there and see what it can do. Wow, well, I made it over here. My whole body is tense just from, because you don't know. I mean, I'm crossing the widest part of the lake and I don't know how it's going to handle or what it's going to do. It just was kind of nerve-wracking there for a second. But I was actually able to kind of get up on plane and it felt pretty good once I got going. I wish I had some more weight in the front. All right. Okay, well, I went to pull up my trolling motor and the rope broke off. Oh, that's cool. That's an easy fix, I guess. All right, we're gonna go for a cruise here down to the dam. Wow. Well, that was wide open and she handled great. So that is beautiful. I love it. Let's get this trolling motor in the water. Try not to fall out of the boat. All right, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Okay, let's get up there close. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but right there, that is the end of the earth. So that's the spillway. The water just goes right over the edge right there and falls freaking 60 feet or whatever. It's kind of crazy. I mean, you could, if you weren't paying attention, you could drive your boat right off that sucker. There's no warning buoys or anything. It's crazy. And the water is, I mean, we are at capacity. It is right at the very top. Well, I gave it a good try. I think it's time to load up the boat and get out of here, which is, that in itself is going to be a another like fun thing to figure out because I haven't done it yet. So let's go. I think that's about where I was, so see how this goes. It's not the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but I think I'm on the trailer. Somewhat. Oh, yeah, I missed. Okay. Huh. Well, I didn't exactly get it on there very good, did I? But the motor kept dying. And so I was really struggling. So I'm just glad it's out of the water. I'm scared to put it back in because I don't know about the motor situation. I was lucky to get it up on the freaking trailer. Wow. Well, shoot. You guys didn't see any of that. I backed it in there away so it was floating. Climbed up through here. Kind of like tried to center it. I actually had to go a little bit to the left because the wind is blowing the back that way. And I just jumped out real fast and freaking gunned it, and it just dropped right into place. I'm gonna pull off to the side, get everything loaded up, then we'll get out of here. Okay, real quick recap. The boat floats, the motor works. I think I was really struggling there at the beginning, really just because of my inexperience. You know, my Ranger, brand new motor, brand new everything. I just get in, I turn a key, boom, it fires up and I go. This is a little different, little two-stroke. So I'm learning, you know, I think the gas was invented properly and that's why I was running into problems in the beginning. I don't know why I was running into problems at the end, other than it's just struggling during idle. I don't know, but there was plenty of other places where I idled and it didn't want to die, but as soon as I went to go get it on the trailer, the thing wanted to like take a dump on me. Gonna get that figured out, not a big deal. It ran like a top when I was out there, got on plane. I was pretty impressed with how fast I was moving. There's some issues with the wiring that I'm gonna have to address pretty quickly. I mean, some of those little connectors just broke off when I was just moving the battery. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. Gonna take some getting used to balancing. I mean, this thing is pretty squirrely. I mean, it was moving around a lot, probably almost went in the lake twice just because I wasn't prepared for it. But that'll remedy itself in time. Trolling motor, it works. I probably will get a new one at some point if I decide I'm gonna keep this and use it on a regular basis, which I probably will. But I want something a little easier to navigate with. It'd be nice if I could sit in the chair and do some fishing, so maybe go back to a remote control or something like that. Getting it on the trailer was a challenge. I'll be honest with you, my pontoon, there again, it just lines up and falls right into place. This is kind of squirrely. If I had another person or if the water was warmer and I could get out and kind of make the adjustments, it would have been a lot easier. But anyway, it's all stuff with like just figuring it out as I go. It was really fun. I wish I would have caught some fish today, but we're deep in February, and really I'm just lucky to be out here right now shooting this outro and sweating. It's toasty, but the water is still really cold. There's just not a lot happening. So anyway, guys, this is it. We're going to be naming this thing shortly. If you have a good name, go ahead and put it down in the comments, and we will absolutely consider it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. New toy, let's do this thing. And I will see you on the next adventure. Be blessed.